I've started.
A very, very good afternoon to all my colleagues present here, to the dignitaries who will soon join in, and dear students. It is indeed an honor for me to be presenting to you the Earth Day celebration of the Techno India University and the institution's Innovation Council. Mother Earth is a connotation of everything that is beautiful and bountiful in our society, in our culture. We live with the adage, नदियाँ ना पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष ना खाए कभी अपना फल. The earth is the embodiment of nurture, of sacrifice, of giving for the survival of the entire human populace, for the survival of this environment, for the survival of this nature that we live in. Techno India University Institutions Innovation Council understands that beautifully. It conveys to us the importance of giving that reverence to this beautiful earth that we all live in. I would like to now invite the convener, the Honorable Convener of the Institutions Innovation Council, Professor Helena Sengupta, onto the dais to say a few words. Helena ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Moumita. Wish you all a happy Earth Day. We at Techno India University have taken the initiative from the IIC to celebrate the Earth Day. You may be wondering why the Earth Day is celebrated. To have a perception about this, one has to understand how Earth helps in sustaining life. Earth is the only planet that has the right amenities, that is air, water, to support life on it. And over the ages, from the various eras, Earth has provided mankind with every kind of resource available to make our lives as easy as possible. But be it the fresh drinking water or oxygen, land for shelter, plantation, the various minerals that we take, the ores of the various metals that we derive from it, the proper climate to harbor life, it has given us everything we need. On the contrary, if we look into it and introspect, what have we, the human beings, been doing? We have accepted all the resources available, and with time, the need of the human beings increased so much that to such an extent that they started using the resources without keeping any check on it. What happened in the process? In the process of taking away available resources, we human beings have been depleting these resources which we were having with us. And in the process, we also have started harming the earth. It is due to the selfish needs of the human being that Mother Earth is facing various environmental issues today. In the haste of developments and accomplishing our selfish needs, we keep forgetting about our Mother Earth. So some wise men, they decided to celebrate the Earth Day worldwide, in the process to promote activities to protect the earth and its resources and work towards a sustainable way of life. It is a day of creating awareness to and work towards sustainable way of life, which I just spoke about, and give self-commitment towards saving earth and work towards this sustainability. If we do not protect our planet now, time will come very soon when all the resources will be exhausted. So the need of the hour is to take proper and effective measures to make sure that our future generations are able to use these resources too. To create this awareness at TIU, we organized 3 competitive events, and these are the model making, the poster, and the speech. The results of these would be announced towards the end. The best 3 speeches who have made a mark have made their entry for presenting themselves at the Earth Festival, which is organized jointly by Techno India University and BCCI, and it will be held tomorrow at BCCI. I thank all of you for joining the Earth Day celebration today, and request you all to take the Earth to make, take a vote today and an oath today to make the Earth a more beautiful place to stay. Thank you all. Over to Moumita.
Thank you so very much, madam. And thank you for taking such a wonderful initiative to create awareness, as well as to tell us more about what is exactly we mean when we say that Earth is our mother. Thanks for the wonderful initiatives taken. And we are very, very proud to present the 3 finalists who have presented their speeches and won this honor today. And moreover, they will present tomorrow as well. So without further ado, I invite Roshlina Rai. Roshlina, are you there?
It's basically Rosalina. Rosalina, are you there?
Rosalina, are you there?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. So we invite you to begin your presentation. Over to you.
Let me just adjust. Good afternoon, everyone.
You are probably using 2 devices. You need to mute one of them.
Yes, ma'am. Our world is built on biology, and once we begin to understand it, it then becomes a technology. Myself, Rosalina Rai, representing Techno India University, student of MSc Biotechnology, I extend my cordial greetings to everyone present here. And as an Earth Day celebration, I would be talking about biotechnology contribution in saving our world, our Earth, and about the Earth in the end. So here we go. The environment is an important component necessary for the existence of both mankind and other biotic organisms. The degree of sustainability of the physical environment is an index of the survival and well-being of the entire component in it. But human activities in his environment involve a lot of chemical synthesis in process of converting the natural products in his environment into another forms, convenient for his utility. In the process of creating products, the man also creates problems, either consciously or unconsciously, ultimately resulting into a pollution. The most acceptable solution to the generated waste in the environment is such that will conveniently integrate them back into the environment. The method involves the use of microorganisms, usually yeasts, bacteria, or fungi, as a wholesale usage production for the system or in the form of industrial enzymes. In many cases, these microorganisms or their products are integrated into the substrates, which gives us the products desired in the industries. Like, for example, we have bioleaching or biomining, biodetergent, biotreatment of pulp, biotreatment of waste, or bioremediation, biofiltration, aquaculture treatments, biotreatment of textiles, etc., biomass fuel production, the most important one, and so forth. These are the tools, the biotechnological tools, which could solve the problem of pollution and help us to sustain the environment. This is so because when the products or their constituents are discarded, they go back into the ecosystem. As such, they become converted into organic components of the environment, Moreover, the production is strictly biological instead of chemical. I would like to conclude my presentation by questioning you all. Have you ever questioned yourself, what if I was Earth? What if I was Earth, the mother of all the resources, the oceans, the soil, everything? What would you have felt? What would you have to say, seeing all those resources getting used, whether in a bad way or in a good way? So keeping myself in Earth's place, I would say, some call me Earth, others call me Mother Earth. I've been here for over 4.5 billion years, 22,500 times longer than you. I don't really need people, but people needs me. Yes, your future depends on me. When I thrive, you thrive. When I falter, you falter, or worse. I've been here for eons. I have fed species greater than you. I have starved species greater than you. My oceans, my soil, my flowing streams, my forests, they all can take you or just leave you. How you choose to live each day, whether you regard or disregard me, doesn't really matter to me. One way or the other, your actions will determine your fate, not mine. I am nature. I will go on. I prepare to evolve. So are you. Sometimes we are walking on a road. We feel thirsty. We buy a bottle of water, maybe of 10 rupees, containing 500 ml of water. We drink it, but we don't discard it, knowing the fact that it's one-time use. It's like a one-time OTP, and furthermore, not acceptable. We bring home, we reuse it again. Not only again, but again and again, unless and until it becomes yellowish or pale kind of, that even that bottle cannot give you a clear vision of water. Then we fall sick and we blame on plastic. The plastic, to that plastic, which is already biodegradable product. Like as I said, once you discard it, it goes back into the ecosystem and gets converted into organic compounds. Till we fall sick, we have got no idea how many carcinogenic bacteria have we consumed with just one mistake. That's why there is a saying, your actions will determine your fate. And here the purpose of creating all these products is not to harm you, but to protect you from even getting worse and balancing the equation between the environment and mankind. So let us come together and educate even our youngers, as I even do when I come across educating them, especially in the villages. Thank you for your presence and thank you for having me here. Let us save our earth, our mother nature, so as to save ourselves. And as on 22nd of April 2022 has its theme, invest in our planet. So let us not step behind. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Rosalina. That was absolutely beautiful. And I now call in the next speaker, who is Srija Ghosh. Srija, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely. Over to you.
I wish a very good afternoon to everyone present here. We must express our gratitude to Mother Earth by taking care of it, by protecting it, and by making it a healthier and greener place. To live, think green and keep it clean. 22nd April is celebrated as the Earth Day all over the world. Myself, Srija Ghosh, doing MSc Oceanography first year and representing Techno India University. Today, I'm going to talk about climate change and sustainable development. Sustainable development. In an overused quotation, the Brundtland Report defines sustainable development as development that meets the needs of the current generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It is an approach to developing or growing by using resources in a way that allows for them to renew or to continue to exist for others. Using recycled materials or renewable resources when building is an example of sustainable development. Global warming. It is needless to say that we are all facing the harmful impacts of global warming, and it is somehow related to us using the environment in such a way which is creating tremendous pressure on it. Thus, sustainable development is emerging as an important factor to preserve the resources that we already have and stop or reduce the exploitation to an extent. Climate change is a serious global threat. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that is IPCC, has begun to focus on the development, sustainability, and equity. The IPCC is an international scientific body charged with assessing the scientific literature, impact, and potential policy responses to climate change. Industrialization has given us new wings to fly high, but it has also set a limit to the sky. How? In other words, I mean that with industrialization, it was directly proportional to increase in global warming. Nowadays, judicial uses of resources are prevalent, and to learn these and contribute innovations to sustainable development has also been made important. Industrial growth is one of the key aspects of a country's development. The government of India wants to enhance the manufacturing sector's contribution to India's gross domestic product, raising it to a 25% share over the course of a decade and creating 100 million jobs. The Indian government has made a clear commitment to achieving industrial growth rate and also protecting the environment. At the same time, the private sector is increasingly interested in adopting modern processing techniques for clean and resource-efficient industrial production. I'll also be talking about the mangrove ecosystem because mangrove wetlands provide habitat, feeding, breeding, and nursery areas for a wide variety of plants and animals, including endangered species. Unique bed of mollusks in intertidal cradle. Mangroves have also contributed to our economy. They have a big influence on our fisheries because so many commercially fisheries species breed or develop there. The mangroves also provide an important source of food for other marine life. Development of food products from mangrove associate species, a step towards health security. Dr. Avijit Mitra and Dr. Sufiya Zaman developed two most common snacks, samosa and kachori, by mixing different proportions of Salicornia brachiate leaves with potato and sattu. These were prepared food items, and they even involved livelihood through promotion of cottage industries for mangrove associate best food items. Let's join hands to save our alma mater. And I, being a student of oceanography, as mentioned earlier, that I'm doing masters in oceanography, I'm here to preach some of the benefits marine science has helped me. The oceans absorb carbon dioxide primarily through the photosynthesis activity, microscopic organisms, that is phytoplanktons. It has also suggested that humans could reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere by fertilizing the world's oceans to create phytoplankton blooms. The oceans play a fundamental role in mitigating climate change by serving as a major role of heat, carbon sink. Thereby, I'll conclude with the topic that Earth is saving us and we should all preserve it because Earth Day is so important. It's a time to remind us that environment that we live in, bold and strong, also requires a lot of protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Srija. It would have been better had you kept your video on during the presentation. It actually, gives a better impression. I will now invite Aanchal to be the next presenter. Aanchal, are you there? Aanchal Kumari.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Aanchal, we can see you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Aanchal Kumari, representing Techno India University, student of MSc Biotechnology. I warmly welcome everyone present here. My subject for today is stay safe and stay positive. One day my brother came to me and told me that, Achal, look, my phone is not working properly. I immediately took a step and deleted all the cache of the phone. After that, mobile started working fine. I'm sure everyone would do the same, right? But what are we doing rightly when our Mother Earth is continuously shrinking under the sea of pollution by losing the greenery? I have a dream, and everyone should have the same dream, that we have unpolluted green earth. Those who are responsible for such pollution must not exist. Warmongers should fly away from the earth along with their bombs and missiles. Smokers must not get entry in our green planet. If we habituated to use masks, then the dream of coronavirus to capture the whole world might also be demolished. But no, my dream remains as a dream. I don't know whether it will be fulfilled or not. Because all warmongers, all smokers be like, Pushpa, nahi rukega nahi. The main problem is thousands of seminars, newspaper writing, and public awareness programs had done. Everyone knows the importance of plantation, how to get rid of the dangerous smoke emitted by smokers, industries, and automobiles. But no one is listening. We all, including me, my family members, my friends, will be responsible for the consequences of the global warming and get drowned under the Antarctic ice. Time has come. Men cannot live without creating pollution. So what to do? This may be our last chance. Offer ends soon. Am I too much rude? Am I? Perhaps I may sound like a pessimist, but actually I am afraid of. In a recent meteorological report, many areas of Kolkata will be underwater by 2030. 2030? Is it not frightening enough? Is it? But on a serious note, I do believe in our inner awareness. I do believe if we all of us will fight together to overcome the situation, I do believe that all of us can stop or reduce pollution by our conscious effort, a mass effort, a collective, well-organized effort. Even every individual's effort can make the difference. We have to, and we will do it. So please all stand together and bring on the best of the best to make or remake our earth green. We can stay safe and healthy and positive. Thank you. Thank you so much. Myself, Achal Kumari.
Thank you very much, Achal. Indeed, we all hope that we will be more aware and more proactive in keeping our Mother Earth in the way she should be, so that she continues to be the nurturer, to be the sacrificer, to be the mother that we all need to survive. I would request the admin to confirm, has the speaker joined, or should we go ahead with the film presentation first?
The speaker has not been joined. I am checking with Akif. Okay, just give me 1 minute.
Okay. Shayan, would it be conducive now to actually introduce the film?
I'm just checking once. Okay.
I can run the film over there. I mean, the presentation thing, slides. If the speaker has not yet arrived, you just check. Let's confirm it, then we can run it.
Yeah, I got the video link from Shayan. So if the speaker is not arriving, then we'll...
Shravani, why don't I think you run the film? Because when he joins, he will also require his 5-10 minutes to, settle, and then I can call him in. So by that time, the
Probably
video
if you have downloaded it, it's okay. Otherwise, I've downloaded it already. If you say I can share, start the video then.
Yes, yes, you can share.
Okay,
Yes,
then
I did
I'll
not
that would be best.
okay, the speaker said he's joining.
okay, then let's wait for him.
Okay, then let him join. Then let him join. Yes, I can actually see that Akib has joined. He is not yet connected to the audio. So, no, that's actually a different ID.
I don't see Akib.
Yeah, that's a different ID that we are seeing.
No, you saw Shomodip to join, but you didn't.
Yes,
Akib
yes,
hasn't
yes.
joined. Has anybody called up Akib?
Yes, I called, but he did not respond. But he messaged that he is joined.
Okay, then I think let's actually start the video. Then I'm sharing the screen. Let me know if the it is audible and visible. Wait a minute. Let me try.
To give a small background to the to all the audience, the video is about the various activities that have been. Yes, I think now I see the speaker. Yes.
Yes, Akib is there, so you can. I think.
Yeah, I will.
Hi, Akib. How are you doing? Helena here. You're not audible. You're muted. Akib, you're muted.
Yes. Got it. I'm keeping alive. Well, sorry for being late. It was in a session, so.
No, it's okay. Fine.
Right.
Yeah, Momita, take over.
Yes. It is my absolute privilege to introduce the speaker of the day, Mr. Akib Hussain. I think I have met him before also in various forums associated with sustainable living and spreading the right message. So Akib is again here with us.
Akib just to add, he has been also very instrumental in many of our innovative things. So he's connected to techno group basically in many other forms also.
Okay. Absolutely. He is a known name for all of us. Akib, it's such a great pleasure to have you in this session and on this auspicious day of the Earth Day celebration. And on behalf of Techno India University, Dr. Helena Sengupta, the convener of the Institutions Innovation Council, has already welcomed you. And I also take this opportunity to welcome you greatly to this session. A small introduction of the speaker before I hand it over to him. Akib is the founding partner of Free Flow, the Mindspace Ventures company. He is the national academic partner for the Startup India Yatra. He is the national venture building partner for Invest India. He's a TEDx speaker, and he's a technical partner for Master Mentors, chief dreamer and director at I&V, advisory to IIM Shillong, IIT Patna, AIC Nalanda, KSUM, and many more educational organizations. He is a dual patent holder on cloud security, deployment, and development with IBM Global. And he has 137 startups, which have impacted via venture funding, 27 startups directly, investment impacted, co-founding experience of 5 successfully operational startups. Wow, that is indeed a great venture for our country. So, Akib, you spearhead the movement for a sustainable future, and over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mamita. Sometimes documents kind of overwhelm you. One should not share a lot of documents with teams. They go overboard with it. Okay, so just wanted to understand the audience. So I'll keep the vibe and the contemporary relevance of the conversation. Mamata ma'am, if you could just quickly tell me, are there students here, or do we have academicians, or is it a mix who we are essentially talking?
It is a mix. It is a mix. We have quite a few head of the departments and faculty here, as well as masters, as well as graduate students.
All right.
So it is quite an eclectic mix of students from various arenas, from humanities as well, from sciences, as well as from management.
Perfect. So as ma'am just introduced, I belong to a spectre which kind of connects aspirations to doabilities, and that is what I call startups. It is essentially a lot of dreams that kind of eventually get shape in the form of doable startups. And the topic for the day on keeping a well-being for the planet and kind of discussing Earth Day on planet Earth seems diabolical to a certain degree. We as humans have this unique ability of celebrating things that are so fundamental to us that sometimes we forget that we should be celebrating each one part of it every day. And we should be wary about each one part of it every day. So to everybody who is in the call, this is what we do for a living. We connect solutions. We connect answers to our issues rather than asking newer questions or asking the same questions again. We do incentivize asking a lot of questions via startups. Not a lot of companies on Earth are asking the right questions from their own responsibility that they behold towards planet Earth. And when we discuss all of this on a day like this, we kind of forget a few very simple fundamentals that we need to kind of look at going ahead. There is a lot of collaboration that's happening as we speak. There is a lot of referencing that's happening as we speak. There has been a lot of legacy work that has been done. And because of you people belonging to various kinds of backgrounds, it all the more makes it relevant for us to start exchanging ideas for a better, brighter, broader world going ahead. So how I wanted to keep it today was essentially to align this conversation on the lines of taking a problem up front, facing it as a community rather than in our own simple silos, from problems of landfills to problems of air quality to problems of the water that we consume to areas in the world which have no water left, to engineering issues that could have been addressed with simple nature friendly approaches rather than going full hog on mechanical automation. We kind of need to bring our skill sets together as we speak in 2022. It's no more 2020's dream that we need to live in an early 2000 or a mid 2000. Most of the students who I'm talking to might have been growing through their EVS books and environmental sciences books during their school days, being taught about the fact that the world is facing the worst climatic impact that mankind has ever had for the last 50 odd years. And they were told that 2020 would be a flagship touch point year for that. And we all know what it came up to. It kind of brought us together in a very, very unique way. It separated us by a distance, but it made us aware of the fact that that as planet Earth and Mother Earth, we kind of need to talk about our issues in consistent voices, in consistent impact identifications, and in consistent climatic solutions rather than just pointing out to the lacunas that exist in the processes right now. So the approach has to be a mix. It needs to be a mix of writing and improving upon the new questions that we need to ask of our processes, the in-depth analysis that we need to do from one skill area. It could be a humanities skill area, it could be a process marketing skill area, it could be an engineering skill area, but we need to put that one skill area into in-depth analysis of what impacts does it have on the process metric, the progress metric, and the people metric of the world. And if these three P's are solved in each decision that we take from today itself, let's not augment or argument on what has already happened. You unfortunately still do not have science to go back in time and kind of take a retrospective decision. Then what you can possibly do is augment what had happened, create a strategy around it, and be very collaborative in the approach. And to the introduction that ma'am just gave, that is what we do day in and day out with a lot of these sustainability startups, a lot of these sustainability problem solvers, a lot of these models which are working in high-tech, deep-tech areas, but are very conscious about the impact that their activities are going to have on people, process, and the efficiency on the platform, efficiency of the platform that they are building. So I would request each one of you to kind of start thinking of our problems in a more people-centric approach, because every solution that you would think from a people-centric lens would always have the sense of the planet, would always have the sense of knowing the process readiness for that particular planet. And in this case, we have a mad scientist or a mad genius, or for that matter of fact, a philanthropist, whoever might want to call him, whatever, by the name of Mr. Elon Musk, who is wanting to establish another planet of inhabitation for you, or organizations like NASA and ISRO, who are wanting you to believe that there is life beyond this planet. I would like you to be a little more prudent with the selection of the processes that we might be able to impact. And these processes lie much closer home. They lie in the next neighborhood that you are living in. They lie in the next people-centric process that you see around you. They lie in the platform utilizations that you approve of, the packaging that you kind of consume, the kind of platform utilization that you feel is convenient, but do not think of its impact on the overall ecosystem, or on the overall environment alignment that's necessary to kind of augment in a certain way. So what we need to understand is there are multiple drivers of zoonotic emergences on Earth. And these zoonotic emergences have happened across land usage, they have happened across wildlife, they have happened across intensified livestock production, and they have happened on climate change. And there have been some effects which have kind of exacerbated these drivers. And these drivers are connected with each other. These drivers are connected with the health crisis that we are seeing around ourselves. And if you agree to disagree on this, the health crises that we are talking about in the name of the pandemics that we have just gone through, or the bio wars that we are facing, are essentially a function of the direct and indirect effects on biodiversity and ecosystem health. We have kind of taken it for granted. We haven't remained considerate to the fact that these are eventually connected to a long-term impact. A lot of people say that this virus was created in a lab, and there are a lot of these conspiracy theories that have been thrown at you since let's say November 2019. Remember, this was our ability to survive that gave this country one of the lowest mortality rates. Now, what do you kind of accord that to? Are we thinking of our biodiversity in every business decision that we take? Are we thinking of the ecosystem health in every process that we define tomorrow? Or are we thinking of the land usage impacts that the zoonotic disease emergence cycle will eventually result in? Are we thinking of the amount of gaseous release that we do in specific production, manufacturing, and distribution activities that all of us are part of? Sometimes the answer, or most of the times the answer, is a stark no. We haven't been thinking strong and long enough about all of this. And there's a reason for that, because that is not part of our education system since school. We haven't been talking about, does this activity of ours cause a certain kind of an impact on the lifestyle, lifestyle and the life existence of other organisms? Have we ever been concerned of the fact that when we throw that plastic, single-use plastic in the air from our cars, from our moving vehicles, do we know what it takes for Mother Earth to actually decompose it and then kind of convert it into anything which is useful? And we have been taught this since the late 1990s. We are being told that these non-biodegradables are essentially going to eat up on our abilities. It is going to eat up on our possibilities of surviving through a certain time frame. but there hasn't been an intuitive engineering approach to involve into sustainable engineering, to move to green processes, to do performance marketing in places wherein people are given the same kind of product experiences, the same kind of platform experiences, while being given alternative resource material, while being given reutilizable reference material. So the question is, are we as a group, and a group which wants to discuss this on the 22nd of April, ready to take pledges on people, process, and platforms which are planet specific? And if the answer is yes, there are resources available, there are innovations available, there are markets, product market fits available, which have been able to crack the basis cycle of who needs what with what kind of a periodicity. So there have been product innovations, there have been process innovations, there have been platform innovations that have gone beyond the boundary and beyond the ordinary to impact smaller ecosystems. Are there marketeers in this particular call who would want to pick up those products and position it to the world as a commercially viable product? Can they create a distribution ecosystem for it, which creates a demand for them? Are there engineers in it who want to re-engineer not just what led to these products, but also what could have been of the alternative science-based exceptions that we very conveniently wanted to look against or look beyond? So the questions are there. The kind of academic research that needs to exist is also there. And it's a matter of creating that trade-off based balance. It's a matter of creating a certain amount of people centricism in our decisions, in our education, in our awareness with regards to a particular topic, with regards to a particular planetary well-being reference. Because it's very easy to talk about planet well-being and kind of discuss it on roundtables and kind of not look beyond the ordinary that is being pushed to you. But well-being is essentially a combination of curling and creating a people-centric reference point, of creating communities, lifestyles, local economies, activities, built-in environments, and natural environments as a hierarchy of impact. And when we actually do that, you would see that it isn't that big a challenge to commercialize it. All the introduction that you just were subjected to, unfortunately, because of the document that I had shared about me, is essentially focused on supporting such businesses, on supporting such impact area activities, and on creating the right kind of paradigm changes that need to happen for absorption of these products across networks, across a created social capital reference point, and across a wealth creating driver, which does not take away the profitability in a unit process. The major question that has often been positioned to people who have talked about ecological balance and environment and sustainability and the kind of environmental pedagogy disruption that we have been doing since time immemorial is the fact that we are greedy by design, and we are artistic by choice. So because we are greedy by design, we'll choose a process which is easier and convenient to execute. It's high time that we choose the trade-off. It's high time that we design the balance and the trade-off in favor of the planet. Because when you do that, the planet pays back. When you do that, the platform pays back. I'll just give you two examples which have been one of the most eye-opening experiences that I have had in my startup evangelism experiences and the investments that we have done, or the technologies that we have co-built, or the marketing principles that we have worked on for unit startups across the globe now. It's been India, it's been Singapore, it's been Malaysia, it's been UK, which have contributed to these kinds of research. There was a startup that was working on the air quality of Delhi. And each one of us kind of sees this as primetime debates every year as soon as September steps in. And we think, okay, ab Delhi ki hawa ab kharab hui. Delhi ki hawa saal bhar kharab hai. Delhi ki hawa us waqt bhi kharab thi jab aap so-called spring enjoy kar rahe the in your weekend getaway in Manali. Delhi tab bhi buri thi. Aur Delhi autumn mein bhi buri thi. Delhi sirf winters mein buri nahi ho ja rahi. And one representative boy kind of picked this up as one of his problem areas, designed this principle logic of creating a sustainable plant, a sustainable 2.5 square kilometer coverage worthy air purifier, which uses nature to purify nature. His innovation was to cause artificial rain while the suction pumps absorb air across 2.5 square kilometers of coverage of a particular device. So this device was essentially installed in Dayanand Sagar University, Bangalore, which is in an area which is called Electronic City. And it kind of covers a circular periphery of about 2.5 square kilometers of area coverage. Now, what it does is it sucks in air. And what it treats the air through is artificial rain, because there has been a logic which has always proven to be right, that when you cause rain, you separate the denser particles from the rarer particles across. It's basic class 6 physics or class 7 physics, which we have been taught across experiments. He calibrated that within a machine, caused artificial rain within the machine, got a catalyst to work on the rarer particles and separate carbon compounds, which could be monoxide, which could be semi-oxides, which could be dioxides, from the air that was being sucked in and released at the rate of 1 millisecond of return. So whatever was being sucked in was released in a millisecond of circulation. And what it did was it made the rarer components of air be clean of the carbon compounds. And he was not done there, because this was not making financial sense. This was not making economical sense, because the machines would be expensive. It would be 75 lakhs, $100,000 or $150,000 of actual worth of per machine cleaning 2.5 square kilometer of air coverage. So what he did was, whatever carbon he had absorbed, he started converting that via a process of catalysis into food grade carbon. And he started feeding beverage industries and baking industries that very carbon that he had picked up from air as FSSAI facilitated carbon, which could be used for food. So what he did was made sense of the process, made sense of the innovation, and connected the process and the innovation via a product. We need to think of products like those. It makes money. It is a value addition to the investor. It is impact investment to the evangelist. And it is free raw material to a billion-dollar industry of baking and beverage. So what he created was demand, what he created was innovation, and what he created was a connect. Did it require ingenuity, or did it require a lot of intellectual capacity? No, it did not. He kind of created a community which contributed the various aspects of this particular model to him. And today they have 19 of these units installed in Delhi. Across various kinds of IPs, across various kinds of activities, and it has shown perceptible improvement in the last winters that we kind of went through in the Delhi NCR region. It has improved air quality by a factor of 7.5 factors, which was showing an AQI index of 650. It reduced it in areas to 425, 450, and yet the product was financially feasible. So engineers on the call, engineering HODs on the call, process and marketing HODs on the call, humanities HODs on the call. I'm just imploring you to process control this into various islands of impact. You need to think of processes together. You need to think collaboration. You need to think process to reutilization, to upcycling, to refabrication. If there is something that is guzzling bad energy, that bad energy needs to be converted into good productization sequences. And there are enough innovators waiting to be tapped by the marketeers who are there on the call. There are enough innovators who are waiting to be told about via the communicators who are there in this particular call. So we need to establish our own skill set areas, align them to communication, process, platforming, and profitability verticals, and then take decisions, then take calls, then take responsible activity alignments with regards who needs to reach where and with what kind of viability. A promise that I can make is, if the product goes through an ARI rating, if the product goes through a reference of hard checks that we have kind of created as parameters, I'm ready to put in the first check to support it. I'm ready to put in the first check to not just support the innovation, but the team that drives it. Because there are enough number of government facilitations of of grants, of investment agencies who want to be part of this particular mission, who want to be part of this people-centric approach of solving viable problems via not over-intellectualizing the situation, but looking at their own silos and kind of coming together as a collaborative whole. Because if I ask a question to everybody who's on this particular call, that what is it that you eventually want to build as a professional? Would it be a product or would it be a brand? If I could quickly have answers on the chat from everybody who is on the call, who can just quickly message up on the chat window if they have rights. I don't know if they can put in their chats on it. But if given an opportunity between choosing between a product and a brand, what would it be as your first choice? And if it's product, why? If it's something else, then why not the other? So if you could quickly give me a choice between products and brands, for me the answer is brand. To why I want to build it, and I'll give you a reason for that. But if I could have a few of you who have been on the call all through, giving me some of your options and a one-liner of why that, I could give you a correlation between how a discussion on an Earth Day or something like 22nd of April globally can actually convert into true process and true platform-based interventions. Okay, I've got one more brand from somebody. I'm expecting some more people to just quickly write down product or brand. It's a very simple choice. It's a P or a B also, if somebody wants to just choose that. And I'll give you a reason why I asked this particular question to you right now, because at the end of the day, what would matter is not just, okay, so I've got a few more answers. There's a product because a brand would take more time and resource to sustain, but the product would be useful and solve a problem imminently. Ishani has gone ahead and said that she wants to build a brand. Can I have a few more choices from people? I have a very famous statement to share with you while you make up your mind between the choice between products and brands. There was this gentleman who essentially has one of these brands which claim to be one of those most ecologically responsive and responsible brands on earth, and yet have the maximum valuation on earth also. He gave a sentence to his employee base in 1983. And that sentence essentially meant, or the summarization of that whole paraphrasing that he had done was, brand is a function of emotions, product is a function of time. And the only thing that has always changed is time. The one thing that has always remained consistent with regards to responsiveness of the earth dwellers has been emotions. Fear still is fear, likelihood is still likelihood, love is still love, happiness is still happiness. It was happiness for Adam, it still is happiness for Akib, it is happiness for Dr. Moumita. It does not change for us, and that is what we want to invoke. For a lot of you marketing students and BBA, BCA students, if they are on the call, most of them are taught these first principles of marketing and distribution and production and all of that stuff. Engineers are taught engineering ethics and so on and so forth. There is an overlap to all of this. That's the idea of a brand. And I might be 180 degrees to somebody else who's thinking product, but I'm just putting up my perspective on this, that when we essentially think of responsible people-centric brands, we are catering to that unit emotion that we will always be able to recount. Whatever the product iteration of our business might be, whatever the product iteration of our activities, of our projects, of our collaborations might be, if we are wanting to invoke sustenance, if we are wanting to invoke sustainability, if we are wanting to invoke responsible process regeneration and process mapping, then the one thing that would always make sense to the world is the ability to know who is it that's going to make things work for us in the positive framework. So think people, think processes connected to people problems, think platforms which simplify this process to people relationship. Your profitabilities and your profitable emotions will take care of themselves. And think brands not like the ones that you see on banners and hoardings, but think of brands as the brand recall or the emotion recall that you want to establish. कि इन्होंने बनाया है और इसलिए बनाया है, तो ये इस process को सोच के बनाया होगा. That is the reference point that you need to establish with each of your entrepreneurial, educational, academic reference point that you want to establish. That's the one message. That's a 365 24/7 message that I have for startups, for engineers, for undergrads, for anybody who's on this particular call and is impacting an ecosystem which wants to make the next 22nd April a better version of this one. Because this is the 365-day capsule that we have, the 365 days in which we can account for our intrapersonal, which we can account for our local community, which we can account for our ecosystem, and eventually in which we can account for our overall ecology or the ecological balance that we want to establish. So because the event is on an Earth Day, I do not want to take you to entrepreneurial basics 101 on how we have been able to establish sustainability principles and yet make companies profitable. That's for another day and another conversation, possibly with a team which would be equally sustaining in their thought line and equally sustaining in their brand recalls. So thank you for this opportunity from the TSVPL team. And ma'am, over to you if there are any questions from anybody. Wanted to keep it short and sweet. Sorry.
Thank you, Akib. As usual, you just cut through all the unnecessary things and get to the heart of the problem, and that is indeed that yes, there is a problem. We identify it and solve it collaboratively. We need a lot of discussion and a lot of dialogue between various people, and try to come to a solution that way. That, of course, is absolutely true. And that is something which we are trying. Helena ma'am would agree that the competitions that had been kept here were about giving the platform to the students to come up with such ideas, how to make people aware, how to have a dialogue with them, how to engage the mind and the heart towards this planet which we all share. Yeah. So Helena ma'am, any reactions, any thoughts?
Yeah, I would first thank Akib. It was very mind-provoking and other things, and I think it was also very a good informative session for the students too, as to therefore opening up their perspectives towards collaborative thinking, and not going into absolute detailed research is not required. It's just ideas, simple ideas can come up with big solutions. Also, this goes without saying for the other faculties and the HODs also to think about in a different way, so that we can come up with, I mean, it was just an awesome example that you gave about that Delhi air thing. And as much as I'm aware of the various things you have been doing, I think I should be involving you more often into such, work and things, so that students can be aware of. And yet, we do not have this in our ecosystem of education, that we should be aware of what we are doing. We create more waste than is required. We even, starting from food, even the food that we consume, we purchase lots, we waste them, and we don't know what harm we are doing about it. So the small little things add up to such huge issues which are coming. Today, if you open the Google site and the doodles which they have given over there, I can see they have just given a comparison of the satellite views of certain places. I mean, there were corals and the corals have receded. There was glaciers which has receded. And I mean, it's really, eye-opener to see that, what all is happening. Apart from this, yes, students who have participated in these three competitions which we had, it was basically to make all the other students and other people also aware of what is right and what is wrong, and what they should be doing. So I think now, thank you, Akib, once again for that enlightening views which you had given. I think you wanted to say something else also. So please take over. Yeah.
Just one thing, Dr. Elena, and this is for everybody who's on the call. Sometimes we define a project in macros. Let's start breaking them into smaller achievables. Just keep a very small objective that we want to achieve. One of these examples that I just gave you on air purification was one. The other was on sustainable livelihood, and I just want to complete this particular session on that particular accord. We live in the 21st century, and we kind of celebrate that 2022, and we tell the world that we have evolved as human beings and as world citizens and digital citizens and Indians and so on and so forth. And then there's still these communities who get down into the pit to clear our shit. In manholes, in gutters, in blocked charcoal based free lines, and a lot of that. Unfortunately, though we see it in the foresight of our eyes, we do not want to address it because that seems a non-sustainability question. It seems like an occupational hazard for somebody else. If we start becoming a little more inclusive in our own foresight, we'll start seeing problems around ourselves. And then we pick them up as a very small issue. One of those investments that we made in the sustainable space was on a model which was working on sustainable livelihoods for these manual scavengers. He used gravity to go against gravity to solve a problem by not allowing people to get into gravity. And he used it in a smart way, in the sense that he designed this bot that was still being operated by these very manual scavengers who used to get inside the manholes to actually separate the sludge with the water, take out the sludge, treat it as manure, send it to farm fields, and use the clean water for circulation and recharging of the groundwater without allowing the unit individual to get down into the pit. So
wow, that's incredible, in fact.
So his idea was to essentially use gravity against gravity. He created suction. And that is not an engineering idea. That's taught to each one of us, irrespective of our backends. He just used it in a way that was commercially making sense. And he created sanipreneurs out of it, sanitation workers who turned into entrepreneurs. He calls them sanipreneurs. So when we connect livelihood with air with sustainable industries with sustainable mobility with sustainable fashion, that is when we complete the macro. But when we think of the problem, just think of one of those projects and one of those small module areas that you want to solve. That's it. And then it would take care of the rest of the world. So yeah, that's the last message that I wanted to just keep you all with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akib. Yeah, Momita, you can take over.
Well, it is actually back to you, ma'am, or the studio team, which has created this melange of students working on posters and working on art, working on models to create awareness and to spread the message and to, create their own ideas as well as invite ideas to talk to people regarding, just being that conscious, just looking at the problems around us. Yeah, okay. Akib needs to leave, so we can understand that indeed. Thank you so much for your time, Akib, and we will keep interacting with you. We will expect you to come and inspire our students sometimes, get them probably out of, a fug or a rut that they have gone into, and, recharge them to try harder. It's very easy to say, "Are kyun sunbe na?" But you have to make people listen. They will listen if you really try. And I think we will see that the melange of shots that they have done, the students have worked wonders with the model presentation and the poster making. So
Okay, let me try and
don't-
see if I can share. Let me know
Yes,
whether
yes,
it's
that is
audible and
something that
visible. Yeah.
would be beautiful, ma'am, if you could show us.
Yeah, let me know if the audio is audible. Is it audible? Hello? Was it audible?
No,
No,
it is not.
ma'am.
Okay, just a moment. Let me check. The video is visible, that much I can see, but the audio. I'm trying it once again. Let's see. Is that audible?
No, ma'am, we can't hear.
Can anybody
anything.
help me in that case? Because I don't know what is happening.
Helena ma'am, I could listen to you.
Not
Helena
me.
ma'am, I could.
Not me. The video.
No, video.
Video
That,
audio. That's what
Can
I'm
you
saying.
please go to the
No, video
settings?
audio is not
Ma'am, can you
audible.
please go to the settings?
Which settings?
Yes, yeah, I'm coming to your place.
Okay, okay, please.
I'm in the right side. There is 3 dots in the screen.
Yes, yes.
Please press on that.
Yes, I did that. Share sound. Okay. I think so. I'm just putting it once again. Just see if it's audible.
Not throw waste in water bodies, as it can kill
Is it audible?
marine life and
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
results in water.
Okay, I'll
Yes, ma'am.
restart it. Okay,
Good
okay,
afternoon, everyone. Today, we Group 9 is going to give a speech on Earth Day. Earth Day was celebrated on 22nd of April. The idea of Earth Day was suggested by John McConnell at the UNESCO conference in the year 1969. Later, Earth Day was celebrated on 22nd of April 1970. Through our poster, we are showing that what we can do to protect our earth from human activities. Firstly, we should practice go green and use more of renewable resources of energy to reduce air pollution. We should use less land for cultivation and construction to keep a balance between nature. We should not waste water and should not throw waste in water bodies, as it can kill marine life and results in water pollution. So, let's put our hands together and make our earth a better place for living for our future generations by practicing these methods of saving the earth. Thank you.
Invest in sustainability. Hello everyone, this is Shutirna Dotto and I am here along with my teammate Olokananda Roy, and through this poster we have attempted to put forward an initiative towards sustainable living. So let's have a look at various ways through which we can have a sustainable life. Number 1, by growing our own produce. By growing our own fruit and vegetables, we can ensure of not using pesticides that will contribute to water and air pollution. This will also help to reduce the amount of fossil fuel used to transport produce to supermarkets. Number 2, use of renewable energy. If possible, we can consider powering our home using renewable energy to reduce our carbon emissions. Replacing our petrol or diesel fueled cars with an electronic one would also help to achieve the same.
Number 3. Saving water. We can save water in and around our home by making a number of small changes. If we have a cooler, we can direct the water drain to plants in our landscape. When we are washing our hands, we can turn the water off by lathering. Number 4. Planting trees. If we plant 20 million trees, the earth will get to 60 million more tons of oxygen. 1 acre of trees can remove up to 2.6 tons of carbon dioxide each year. Number 5. Driving less. We can walk or ride a bike to our destination instead of driving if it's close enough. It's better for the environment and our health. Using public transport is another good way to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Thank you.
I, Teresi Rani, with my teammate Piyush Sarkar, would firstly like to give a warm greeting to the person who is listening this audio. The theme of our poster on Earth Day is Restore Our Earth. We must restore our Earth not just because we care about the natural world, but because we live on it. Every one of us needs a healthy earth to support our jobs, livelihood, health and survival and happiness. A healthy planet is not an option, it is a necessity. Earth Day is annually observed on 22nd April throughout the world to celebrate and honor planet Earth and its natural environment. But the question that arises is how to save our Earth. There are various ways through which we can save our Earth, like we can reduce, reuse and recycle the things, we can volunteer for cleaning up, we can conserve water, plant a tree, etc. Protecting our planet starts with us. Hence, it is important to make the most use of what we have right now in a sustainable manner. Our approach will not only save the earth but our lives as well. Moreover, our future generation will be bestowed with a healthy environment to live in. In fact, the Earth Day celebration can bring a visible change if we all choose to make action towards a green world. Thank you.
Around the globe, there are species at risk of extinction, and we use the term endangered for them. There are sadly several species from India whose names are in IUCN Red List. There is Kashmiri stag, which is endangered because of habitat destruction, poaching, and overgrazing by domestic livestock. Then there is black buck, which is endangered because of excessive hunting, deforestation, and habitat degradation. Then in Rajasthan we have Great Indian Bustard, which is endangered because of the rampant hunting. In the Gangetic region, we have gharial that is endangered because of the habitat loss due to the human encroachment and unsustainable fishing practices. And we have the Gangetic river dolphin, which are endangered because of the construction of dams and hydropower plants. The vultures have been endangered for several decades because of poisoning. Then there is a hawksbill sea turtle in the list, which is endangered because of the habitat loss. And then there are trees like Makassar ebony and Assamese catkin yew, which are endangered because of deforestation. These could have been stopped, these could have been prevented if man-made activities such as deforestation, unsustainable fishing, and habitat destruction would have been stopped. It is up to us to do something about these species because biodiversity is very important for the ecosystem.
It is said a story is meaningless unless you hear both sides of it. Unlike which, we always tend to flicker between the chances that can output a positive change or invest on the negative change that has been done by a chance that we missed. Hello, this is Devjyoti Pramanik and Debayu Dhalda, just wanting to portray that there is no time to cry for the deeds, but to think about the chances that never ends. It is just a moment of opportunity to grab it. In the fight of fire and water, water always outdoes fire. Let's rise the inner fire in us and become water. Let's win this together. Let's think for our motherland together. Let the jolliness take over the dullness together. Let's bring back the shine together. There is a chance. Repeat after me. There is a chance.
Good morning to one and all present here. This team consists of Dijotama Bhattacharya and Payal Chakraborty. In our poster, we have created two parts of our planet. The first part, which I have shown on the right hand side, we have shown a burning earth. This burning is created by the deforestation, the immense pollution that is being happening regularly in our planet all over the world. And lastly, the throwing of plastics and the usage of plastics, due to which the earth is slowly melting. Through the melting, we have shown that the destruction of the earth and its beautiful creatures like plants and animals. On the right hand side, we have showed that this destruction can be controlled and reformed, and we want the earth to be rebuilt. And this rebuild is only possible if all the hands, like the people of all over the world, come together and they actually join hands to rebuild the earth. This will create a beautiful environment. Plants can be again grown, plants and trees, afforestation can be done. Along with that, we can recreate the beautiful creatures and make a happy planet. That is why our slogan is "Don't burn the earth, just rebuild it." Thank you and have a nice day.
Hi, this is Kaushik Shil.
And this is Anubrata Roy.
And we have made a comical poster based upon two aliens who visits the earth in the year 2222. Comics are funny and are attractive and carry an inner meaning, so we have used this attractive value to bring attention to the people. The year is 2222. Humans have destroyed the plant life and infiltrated the water bodies with toxic substances. Our green and blue planet is now a piece of brown rotting corpse. As our alien friends enter through our precious atmosphere, they find out that the humans have destroyed their ozone layer, which protects us from the harmful UV rays, which is currently happening as more and more ozone holes are formed. Then we have talked about the excessive plastic pollution and the concrete massacre which are non-degradable stuffs are destroying our planet's ecosystem. Though end of plant life and non-existence of ozone would lead to extinction, we have kept our hope that maybe some humans might be alive, living on the oxygen cylinders and perspiring water. They tell us that the problems that will lead to our end, like excessive deforestation, global warming, emission of fluorocarbons, and how we have destroyed our water bodies. These are the puppets of our doom.
After that, we have tried to put in some steps through which we can restore our earth. The most important step is to make people aware about the problems which our earth, our planet is facing. Then our poster goes with the plot, and at the end we come to one of the most inevitable universal truth. As you saw, so shall you reap. Whatever we are doing now is not going to help us in our future. The human race and all life forms would become extinct within a couple of centuries if you don't take a step today. So save our planet Earth before it's too late. Thank you.
My name is Sheikh Mutasim Billah and I'm here to explain about the poster me and my teammate Parinder Sur have made. This poster has been made keeping into consideration the lives and health of the upcoming generations. We promote sustainable development through this project as it is the need of the hour. Use of eco-friendly products is the key to a healthy earth. We don't want to run out of our resources and henceforth use it wisely so that our planet could thrive and the upcoming generations could have a place to live which is devoid of the toxicity. Building of solar panels in rooftops to generate electricity, rainwater harvesting, building of windmills to generate electricity are some eco-friendly alternative ways. Also, proper waste disposal and wastewater treatment should be done. That is, organic waste should be separated from inorganic waste. Limit the use of plastic, or by 2050 the seas will have more plastic than the amount of fishes. So the earth is in your hand. Make correct steps to safeguard it. Thank you.
My warm greetings to whoever is listening to this. I, Purnima Singh, and my teammate Nilasha Dutta came up with an idea for the poster of World's Earth Day, which makes us wonder about our future. Have you guys ever wondered, what if we never get to see what our tomorrow may look like? Well, this can be the situation, with the ice poles melting, forests burning, animals getting extinct day by day, and the rising sea levels which are constantly swallowing our lands. John Ruskin, a great philosopher, once said, "Nature is painting for us, day after day, pictures of infinite beauty." So if we really want to enjoy those pictures, we need to stop now and take a moment and think what we are doing with our future.
The little things we do matters. We may not find the small actions really helping or changing the situation around us. We just need to be patient. Of course, the planet would not be saved in one night or because of one person. But if all of us come together, we can. Given some time, we can. We are the first generation to feel the sting of the climate change, and we are the last generation that can do something about it. If we want to crash and tear away the image of our destruction and welcome a pleasant and happy tomorrow, we need to start acting now. Thank you.
Yeah, back to you, Momita.
It was a very engaging presentation. Madam, our students have such wonderful ideas. Really, really nice to watch such creative efforts. We have actually reached the conclusion of our program. And I can see Shrabuni here. Shrabuni, would you like to say a few words before we officially close the session?
Yeah, she needs to announce the winners. So she'll be announcing the winners of the three events.
That is why I want to bring her.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yes, Shrabuni, please.
Hello, Shrabuni, can you hear me? কোথায় গেল?
If she's not available, then I can announce. Just check on her if it's okay. Otherwise, I'll announce it.
She is not. I can't see her. I mean, has she been accidentally
logged out? It seems.
Yeah, she has been. Probably she didn't even realize. that she has been. Yeah, I can't actually see her, ma'am. I can't see her.
Then in that case, I am announcing the winners. So we will start with 1 second. So we will start with the winners of the speech, and it's quite obvious the 3 persons who had given the speech today, they are actually the winners. The first prize and the first person who has stood first is Rosharina Rai from Biotech. Second is Shrija Ghosh from Oceanography. Third is Anchal Kumari from Biotech. We now come to the category of the poster thing, and on the postering, give me a second, I'll just let you know. Yeah, I may not, some names are not there fully with me, so I would just announce with whatever names is available with me right now. So the first person is in this category is Alokananda and Sutirna from architecture probably. Second is Piyush Sarkar and Tejashwani from architecture again. Third is Debayut and Debojyoti from architecture. The next category is of the model making, and the model making, there's only one prize for it. I mean, the first position for it. And for this, we have Joy Tapadar and Ajay Mahata jointly for this, for the model making. Apart from this, we have a special contributor for the awareness creation, and this is going to 1 second, please. Okay, this goes to Kaushik Seal and Anubrata Roy from VArch second year. So that's all we have all for the 3 categories. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you so much for your contributions and creating the awareness. For all the students who are over here, I would like to give you this as a motivational thing, that you people should also, you are the future of the world, the earth over here. So it's all in your hands as to how you make it or break it. Would like to see more contributions from you guys in the future, be it in the form of ESD, be it form of innovations, be it in form of anything that is going to add value to this Mother Earth. Over to you, Momita. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Helena ma'am, and congratulations indeed to the winners. I am very sure we will have even more entries going forward. Shravani, a few concluding remarks before we officially end the session. We actually lost you. The link got disrupted. Shravani, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet connection was lost. So now I think you can hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much, all of the students, and congratulations to the winners. Congrats to all the other students also who has not participated this time. I'm sure next time they will also participate, and they will be motivated by this kind of events, and by observing others to participate here. And I would like to thank Techno India University, IIC, for giving me this opportunity to organize and coordinate this event. I'd like to thank all the members of the IIC, like Helena ma'am, Kritika, and Momita, and Professor A.K. Paul sir, all the others. I'd like to thank Director Madam, although she is not present with us today, but I'd like to thank her for encouraging us and giving us this opportunity to organize the event. And hence, again, thank you very much, all the students, for your participation and support. Thank you all. So that's it from my side. Momita, over to you. So I think we can end this session.
Yes.
Yes, we can conclude the program now. Yeah.
Yeah, we have reached the end of the program. And thank you, Helena ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to and Stravoni to conduct this, so that I was privy to this beautiful world that the students have created. Just hoping for more participation in future such events. And we officially close the session here. It's been just wonderful attending this beautiful session. Thank you so very much for all of you, all the students who are here, all the faculty members who have taken time to attend this event, listen to the speaker, and also, encourage the students by looking at their presentations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We close the session officially.